Nice to meet you. Sorry for the wait.
No worries, no worries. Where are you guys?
We're based in Madrid.
Okay, I'm in South in Soto Grande.
Ah, no way. Okay, we were expecting somewhere more cold, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, no, no. I'm here in Soto Grande. We have lived here 5 years.
Oh, very nice. Well, that's a good decision. I bet a lot of golf.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Very good place.
Okay.
I think everything works and you can see me okay, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
perfectly.
Un
Perfectly.
segundo. Voy a compartir el link. Por otro lado.
Yes, we're just sharing with the audience. Just as an introduction, we will try to do this. So we will do it in English, but translating real time, so that we can really engage our Hispanic audience in the comments.
Yeah, and we would have had one Spanish employee, but he has been just working with us for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So I was thinking a little bit too much of a risk to have him talking if he has not worked that long.
Okay. No, but that's perfect. We're used.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying we are used to work like this, so it's not a problem for us. Of course, it would have been very nice to meet your Spanish colleague, but it's perfect like this. So just as an introduction,
I keep my sentences short. I keep them short so that then you can all the time catch up with the translation.
perfect,
Okay.
perfect. I was about to say, well, just as an introduction, myself, I'm Laura. I'm a marketing manager by day, then exploring the metaverse, NFTs, crypto, and here's Santi, who I think you met already. He's the CEO of Flow Investment. So
Yeah.
Hi. I'm checking all about the live.
everything's correct now. So maybe if we could have an introduction of yourself and your background and how you got to LIKVIDI, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So you will. So when will you go live?
We are live now, aren't we?
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So let me then go ahead. So my name is Ransu Salovara, and I'm the CEO and founder of LIKVIDI. LIKVIDI is a Finnish word, and it means liquid.
Oh,
And so we went with that name.
did you
therefore.
know that?
And really a green finance, sustainable finance platform,
Mm.
now focusing full on the blockchain development, on everything on blockchain, and then on carbon credits.
Mm-hmm.
That's the starting point. And with a big growth ahead. Last year was only 1 billion. This year's going to be about 10 billion, and we think that already 2030 this carbon credit market, voluntary carbon credit market, will be about $100 billion a year.
Yes.
Over to you.
And what about your background? So how did you get to this? Because it's of course a very interesting industry.
Yes.
But-
So I then moved here then actually it was 6 years ago to south of Spain because we started to work with the Europe's first regulators on a sector, Gibraltar, that was then coming up with the crypto regulations. So then we started first with a Bitcoin ETI, exchange traded instrument, that was then listed on Frankfurt Stock Exchange.
Okay.
And then we followed up end of 2016. I co-founded with my then business partner Token Market, and Token Market was one of the biggest ICO platforms in Europe back on that first ICO wave.
Okay.
So we did then the ICOs, all the technical parts and the platform development for those deals like Crypto.com, if you know, that was back then in Monaco, and then Storage and Civic and about 30 others. So those raised a total of over $300 million back then.
Okay, so this was blockchain and crypto projects, not necessarily about sustainability, right?
No, not then. That was too early. So these were all that first generation blockchain gaming companies, storage companies, KYC platforms, and then of course kind of a neo bank or crypto bank projects.
Okay, very nice, very nice. O sea que tiene su background es en todo proyectos cripto, Bueno, es que ha mencionado de todo, Exchange, Know Your
¿Pero
Customer.
a qué se refiere con su background?
A los proyectos en los que ha trabajado antes. Creo que lleva en España desde hace 5 años y trabajando en proyectos de blockchain, y ahora, o sea, realmente han ido a este proyecto porque es profitable y va a haber
Sí,
mucho dinero.
mucho beneficio, sí.
Y sí.
Vamos a preguntarle en qué se basa para pensar que es el siguiente, vamos, que va a ser buena inversión de tiempo, o buena, ya me entiendes.
So of course we were investigating your project, and with the community we always do so, and we know the numbers, but we were curious about your approach on why sustainability and carbon credit is the next thing, the next topic to go in blockchain.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So basically, I see the market now being this, that just like 20-25 years ago when internet really came, then over that period of 1995 to 2005,
Yeah.
every company basically in the world that is a little bit bigger than mom and pop's corner shop, any bigger company had to have their online strategy. They all needed the website. Some opened the web shops, but the web presence of some sort, is it then on a TripAdvisor or whatever it is, you need to have that. You need to have an online strategy back then. So now, sustainability and the climate change particularly, since now that 2015 Paris Agreement has become the big topic. Like everybody's worried about the climate change, and we see all these extreme weather things happening. And therefore, then we already see that now large companies like Microsoft and Google are full on committed to use renewable energy and also buy carbon credits to offset their carbon footprint. So over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see that just like 20 years ago, everybody needed to be online. Now every company will have to be sustainable.
Yes.
So their clients will ask for that are you a sustainable company? They don't want to support any more polluting companies. Their employees wants to see that kind of a change. And very importantly, then on the bigger companies, the shareholders, like we already see now that Shell, like on the oil company Shell and in America, Exxon, they already have these activists, ex-Greenpeace people basically on their board, kind of telling them that, hey, you need to now calm down with the polluting. And of course, so that's the driving force that we all love, clean nature and clean air. So it's easy we see that over the next years, it's easy to get everybody on board.
Yeah, like there's no way to escape from it now as a company. I agree.
Exactly. This has to happen. This change for the cleaner practices, cleaner behavior. Like look at how many cars Tesla is now selling. Suddenly, Tesla is the world's biggest, most valuable car company. Not yet the biggest, but sells amazing number of electric cars. In Norway, which is an oil country, 90% of new cars that they sell are electric cars. So this movement is really now going through, the sustainability movement across all the sectors.
Yeah, at least doing some efforts. It's hard for it to be perfect, but
we can do much more.
Yeah, and so how do you see carbon credits and blockchain together solving this issue?
So blockchain is really like a best possible. It's really the best possible technology for this sector, because this needs to be decentralized. Because this needs to be around the world. Everybody needs to have an access to carbon credit. And at the same time, previously, when carbon credits really came to market 2004-5, the first 10 years were horrible. They were all fake carbon credits. They were, double spend, double accounting, and everything possible basically went wrong on the first era of the carbon credits. So this is where really now when we combining kind of financial aspects of Bitcoin and overall the crypto and atomic swap type of a trading, and then the financial aspect and then the sustainability aspects. So now we can really, on our carbon credits, there will be inside of the carbon credit, we basically kind of do the NFTs, and there will be inside the coordinates of where this carbon that you now, like carbon credit that you're now buying, has been captured, where the carbon capturing has happened. So we can now put it within 10 meters on a rainforest. We can spot the capturing. So this data, this metadata that we can now put inside of the tokens is really that makes the world to trust this sector.
And it's also global, so you don't have this trouble as with the first generation.
Exactly. And now it's always 1 ton of carbon that is captured, and on average, you can say that Spanish and Finnish forests, they capture between 3 to 5 carbon credits per hectare per year. So that becomes then also very interesting additional or alternative income for the forest owners to, instead of cutting trees down, to keep the forest for tens of years and collect money by selling carbon credits.
I will just translate very quickly, but nada, lo que está diciendo es que ¿por qué le ha parecido interesante saltar ahora después de todo tipo de proyectos en blockchain? Ha estado en proyectos de Bitcoin cuando empezaba, en proyectos de exchange, no sé qué, y ahora dice que lógicamente es un mercado que es muy que hay mucho dinero, que va a haber aún más. ¿Y que por qué? Pues porque realmente ya no hay escapatoria para las empresas y tienen que hacer esfuerzos de sostenibilidad, no solamente a nivel organizativo, sino que también los empleados dentro de las empresas exigen esto. Se ve que las empresas con más éxito como Tesla, pues...
Sí, son las que más utilizan ese tipo de servicios, sí.
Y ese tipo de marketing, aunque sea.
Sí.
Y que cómo puede... y que estaba mencionando que la primera generación de créditos de carbono, que fue todo lo que había de oportunismo, que con el IVA la gente jugaba con ellos para ganar dinero. Sí. Hay un documental ahora en Netflix, lo vi el fin de pasado, sobre esto, así que si hay alguien que lo esté escuchando, estaba interesante. Y realmente con la blockchain, pues al estar globalizado, pues no hay este oportunismo entre países de que puedas lucrarte con ello.
Sí,
y está toda la información ahí y bueno, ese es el beneficio que tiene la tecnología, que hace que la transparencia pues...
Sí, sea mayor. Sí, al fin y al cabo es la característica principal de LIKVIDI, que unía la parte de la blockchain positiva junto a lo otro, que no era muy claro. Y pues por eso dirigimos invertir en ellos, la verdad.
Sí, porque es algo necesario, con demanda, y que realmente la blockchain pone una solución a los problemas que ha habido antes y sí.
Eso es.
¿Tenemos alguna pregunta?
Vamos a preguntarles sobre el plan de marketing que tienen pensado para conseguir inversores y usuarios.
Okay, sorry if this was very long. We were also taking the answers and the questions from the audience, and they were wondering what marketing plans do you have to reach investors and clients, so companies.
Yes, so the companies, we have 2 approaches. We will start then when the platform launches, in the end of May. Then our plan is to two ways. One is a aggressive online marketing, very targeted, very data-driven online marketing to find through different platforms these kind of larger SME companies who are into sustainability and wants to become now net zero, basically, not 2030. And many companies can do it this year already. So we will reach them via online marketing, and then we are coming up with our own carbon credit calculator, kind of very sophisticated online tool that companies and individuals can use to calculate their carbon footprint. And that's a very important sales tool then, because then it says, okay, you need 25 carbon credits, boom. Next thing is that we can sell it and put it to your either centralized wallet. So we're using Fireblocks on the back end, same as Revolut uses and eToro. So like a top-notch wallet technology on the background. So you can either put it on that wallet or you can use any decentralized wallet like a MetaMask.
Okay.
So it's just talking about the process, how that goes to your wallet, and then you can offset it. So then the other important thing is that we also believe that this is a very much of a consultative sales process. So we are also now building a sales team that is kind of a proper business development consultative sales team who talks today we have talked, I think, 10, 15 companies in Scandinavia and talk with their sustainability managers to understand their needs and the ways that we can help them. So we already on that, like, because there's a longer cycle to sell corporate sales, like to larger companies. So we already have started that process. So two ways, traditional and online focused. And lots of content. If you guys now check our website and you look at our blog, that you can find their blog posts. Those are coming every few days and are very informative and a good way to learn about the sector. So we really believe on content marketing and expand even more that content marketing side.
Yes, educating. I think that's a complete strategy. Se van a concentrar en marketing online, pero también mucha fuerza de ventas para, ha dicho en modo de consultoría también, para llamar a los clientes, hablar con el director de sostenibilidad y ofrecerle su solución. Y también están trabajando en un algoritmo, o en una... No sé cómo lo ha explicado, pero...
Sí, una calculadora.
En una calculadora.
Una calculadora de huellas de carbono y todo eso.
Eso es. Y que estaría bien tener un estándar, porque hay como muchas formas de calcularlo.
Sí, eso, ahí está un problema. De hecho, una de las características del tema de la blockchain es que todo eso es más justo, porque nosotros, cuando estuvimos analizando LIKVIDI, lo que vimos fue que uno de los principales problemas con el tema de los bonos de carbono era que no se podía medir, ¿sabes? Porque tú cuando tienes una cierta contaminación, no sé si era una tonelada de CO2 o algo de ese estilo, pues tienes que compensarlo. Entonces había un montón de empresas que en teoría lo compensaban y claro, a ver, tú cómo compruebas que justo compensas eso, ¿sabes? Entonces ahí está el problema y por eso LIKVIDI con el tema de la blockchain se espera que solucione eso.
Exacto. Y sí, que es que si hay un montón de calculadoras para medirlo, si no hay una que sea la buena y que diga si esta calculadora dice que lo mides y es de confianza, pues es difícil. Entonces sí, esto es bastante
es complicado,
ambicioso. We're saying how it's very ambitious and it would help if your calculator really is validated and used by many companies, because then it would be clear when the standards are met and when the required quantities are actually met. So that's
exactly. On that one, I actually that is an important thing here, and that's why then anyone can check kind of the methods that are used there. There's an international standard now coming. It's called GHG, so Greenhouse Gases Protocol. I think the Greenhouse Gases Protocol.org, and this is the basic methodology that every consulting company and every calculator in the world pretty much will use. And our version will be then developed. It's being developed by our good partner in the USA and worked together. They have worked together with the Carnegie Mellon University. So there's very much of an academics involved on that one, and the best practices that they basically over the years have been now gathered into that GHG protocol.
And I have a question now. Maybe it's a stupid question, but just I will have the answer straight away. So your clients would be the companies that are doing it right and that are generating carbon credit, but also the ones that are buying it. Is that right?
Exactly. So there's two parties, and we are in between them, bringing value with the technology platform and all the calculations and the kind of methodology there. So on the one side, we have now forest owners and forest projects. So like, someone, for example, 1 million hectares in Ghana, in Africa. Okay, they have now put that forest into the creating carbon credits, and that's very important there, because then they need to keep those forests alive, so there's no deforestation, and at the same time they need that money all the time from the carbon credit sales to have schooling their schools, forest guards and healthcare for those people who live off that forest. So these are the forest owners on the one side that we help them then to create a carbon credits that are correctly measured, and then we help them to sell them and distribute them, tokenize them. And then on the other side we have companies that pretty much all the tech companies nowadays have this kind of an agenda, but they can be taxi companies. We have ski resorts that we're talking with, and things that create kind of pollution, carbon footprint, And in the same time, they need to always have a mindset of greener practices.
Yeah.
Like you see now, many hotels are saying that, hey, don't wash your towels. We don't want to wash your towels every day, blah blah blah. So these are the practices that every company needs to first become more sustainable, and then the rest they have to offset with the carbon credits, because it's not possible that they don't travel and they don't, there's always a pollution or carbon footprint related, but that the rest is always that's where you need the carbon credits to offset that.
Mm-hmm. And okay, that was my next question, because then the market is growing, but also the sustainability efforts from companies are growing. So then the opportunity there, there's less to compensate if companies are following sustainability,
more companies
circular.
to do so for the market actually grow. So at the same time, when there's less to compensate because people start to behave better, that's correct. At the same time, many more companies are doing it. So actually the overall market grows all the time, because so many new companies join the movement of being sustainable.
But then who's buying? We need buyers to.
Yeah, buyers are there. Buyers are there. Like look at the companies. For example, on the largest and most recognizable is the Google, founded I think 1996, and then 1975 Microsoft. So these are great examples, because they now, of course, using all the renewable energy for their servers and everything, and doing the best that they can to avoid, for example, unnecessary flying for visa trip and all that stuff. But then importantly, they are calculating now backwards on their history all the way down to mid-90s or mid-70s on those two companies, and compensating all their history. So they are now buying carbon credits for the kind of a carbon footprint that they caused years ago. Because they want to be good corporate. They want to be good corporate citizens. Stripe is doing something similar, the big payments company from Ireland. So it's really like a big movement that people are realizing that they have to do that in order to be on a good books.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. He sido egoísta y he preguntado lo que tal, pero que al final realmente dices, vale, si la gente tiene más conciencia de sostenibilidad, las empresas tienen más conciencia de sostenibilidad, va a haber menos demanda de créditos, porque estos están para compensar lo que no consigues ser sostenible tú, ¿no? Y yo pensaba que me iba a decir, bueno, están los chinos para comprarlo, pero no, estaba poniendo el ejemplo de Google o Microsoft, que tienen unos índices ahora de sostenibilidad muy buenos, pero no obstante siguen comprando créditos de carbono por lo que han contaminado en su historia.
Pasado, claro.
Que eso yo no lo sabía.
Es interesante. Luego aquí preguntan qué opinión tienen los gobiernos respecto a, ¿sabes? Porque claro, todo el tema de los bonos de carbono vale, pero los bonos de carbono dentro de la blockchain ya es algo diferente para el tema de gobiernos. O sea, ¿qué piensan los gobiernos del proyecto? Si hayan llegado a trabajar con algún gobierno o algo de ese estilo, pues es interesante preguntarlo, porque la gente al menos tiene esa duda.
Sí. So we had a question here, because we are talking about working B2B, but it can happen that governments have an opinion on this and maybe are not helping the development of the project. How do you see this? Have governments been an obstacle in some way?
Yes, so I think that this person there might be referring to Spanish renewable energy issue. So here I've been working on some renewable energy mostly solar projects. We looked one in Seville and stuff like that. And the problem now, a little bit, maybe that's his reference there, but the problem has been that the government has not been letting these new projects that are doing renewable energy, like big solar parks, like 200 hectares. They don't let them to connect to the electricity grid to serve that clean energy. So there's a little bit of a kind of a shadiness, I would call it, in this whole practice of kind of government protecting traditional electricity companies and grid owners from these, that if they would just let anyone to build these solar parks, especially here in Spain, we could have much more clean energy here, much more. So I'm not a fan of how that process has been worked, and a good friend of mine has over 20 projects going on, and he has been giving me these insights, his Spanish, and it's been very interesting how the government has kind of, just by bureaucracy and really slow reaction, has been slowing down that development. But that doesn't now hurt carbon credits, because this is what we're talking about here is a voluntary carbon credit market. So this is a market that is not regulated like an electricity grid. Then there is separately a regulated carbon market that is for in Europe, that's for the 10,000 most polluting companies, like tire manufacturers, car manufacturers, oil companies, power companies, companies who make steel and aluminium. They are under regulatory rules to reduce their pollution, and they get credits from the government that they can pollute this much, and then they have to do the trading of regulated carbon credits to offset the rest. And that's globally, 2,000 companies in America, 10,000 companies in Europe is about that market, and that's very different, and that will not change in many years. I think that the next time they're going to change that is in 2030.
Okay, so this would be positive then.
Yeah, everything is positive here, but except this electricity, this renewable energy thing, and same time now we see the problem.
Not affecting your project, in fact. So for the project, government control is positive actually, because they are requiring this quota that they need to accomplish, and so they need carbon credits. So it's positive, right?
Yeah, and exactly. And on our sector, voluntary carbon credits, government is not interrupting at the moment, and it will take years before they come with the regulations.
Yeah, and more particularly, how do you think the government will take that the blockchain is helping on this and potentially controlling and regulating everything?
They cannot basically regulate. My take is that they cannot regulate technology. They can regulate it if it's a security or if it's a currency. Then they can jump in and say that, okay, but they cannot come and put, so to say, just say that, okay, just because it's a blockchain, now it's regulated. That's very strange. That would be a very strange approach. And also it would be against, governments. If you look at the European governments, and even American SEC is a little bit tricky, but European, they are actually quite pro innovation. French have done a lot now to improve their, there's a good blockchain startups, sector there in Paris and elsewhere in France.
Yeah.
And then same in UK. Of course, UK is super strong. There's the many good blockchain companies have headquarters there. So Germans have now, normally with the very tight regulations, they have started now to give blockchain, basically financial company, startups, fintech startups, licenses.
Yeah.
So I think that overall the whole regulatory landscape will improve all the time. I don't see now this few oligarchs now moving few $1 billion with the cryptocurrencies from Russia to some tax havens. This is just a temporary little pump, little problem on the road because of that war in Ukraine. But overall, I think that the future of blockchain technology looks very good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No, and as you said, it's hard to contain it because it's technology. So you can contain it for a little while, but then, O sea que lo que dice es que realmente puedes controlar una moneda, puedes controlar regulaciones, pero que controlar una tecnología es muy difícil, y que si ellos implementan algo que da esta transparencia, ¿cómo lo va a controlar o esconder un gobierno? Y que además los gobiernos, estaba mencionando que tiene amigos en energía sostenible, y que ahí pues el gobierno sí que se ve que tienen intereses personales o económicos, y que no están dejando que avancen estas energías alternativas, pero que realmente para ellos la intervención del gobierno es positiva, porque a los países que están regulados en estos ámbitos les exigen comprar créditos de carbono, con lo cual para ellos es positivo y que la blockchain solucione algo pues es incontrolable. Entonces
Vamos a hablar un poco sobre el token, sobre qué están programando, cómo tienen pensado lanzarlo, su estrategia de lanzamiento y qué visión le ven a su token viendo las funcionalidades que le van a dar según su white paper.
¿Para nosotros o para empresas?
Para su cliente. Nosotros no somos su cliente, nosotros somos inversores.
So that's thank you very much for all the explanation. Now we were wondering about the token. So how do you see the utility that it will have or the value that it will have for your clients?
Exactly. So leak token that we now doing the token sale for then with DAO Maker, that is a utility token, and that's related to our platform where we then issue separately carbon credits. So those are then LCO2 tokens. So on this utility token, we worked a long time with the DAO Maker to come up with a really proper utility user case. And this is now then a combination of that we will have a staking benefits. So when the user stakes leak token, then we are now committing 20% of the kind of a profits of the platform, of the whole liquid carbon platform to the pool that will be then kicked back as a leak tokens back to the stakers. So that's very exciting. That will then include the primary market sales on a platform of a carbon credits and also the exchange. So there will be a good bunch of that kind of activity. And then also when we come up with the new carbon credits, sometimes they are very limited numbers, or we come up with NFTs, which we also doing like a carbon credit related NFTs.
Yeah.
On both of those, then the people who stake will have a primary access to those new products before we give them to anyone. And then also importantly, they will get now more. When they buy carbon credits, they basically get 10-20% more of a carbon credits with the same price.
So price benefit.
They are very they're very clear benefits that you get,
definitely.
and they're not related. We didn't now start with the whole governance systems, because the governance systems is mostly people don't participate on those, and they're very, very hard to set and very hard for someone to be an expert on how it should be governed. So we wanted to fully focus on benefits, and the benefits that anyone who comes to this whole sustainability world with us on a LIKVIDI platform then can benefit from those instantly.
Okay. O sea que realmente tienen los beneficios de staking, de acceso a NFTs de créditos de carbono limitados y beneficios de precio.
Sí, descuento.
Yo, ahora que acaba de mencionar lo del el governance, no sé si es interesante preguntar porque, bueno, no sé cómo hacen ellos el governance, supongo que dentro del equipo, como una empresa normal, pero tampoco es que en este tipo de proyecto tampoco creo que cambien muchas cosas, está bastante automatizado igualmente, ¿no?
El tema de los tokens de gobernancia, dice. La gobernancia.
And every time you use then leak tokens to get a bonus carbon credits, every time we burn, then those basically are then burned, those tokens. So we also reduce then the circulation all the time.
Yeah. So also the deflationary.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious, but maybe it does not even make sense, because I feel like your project it can actually be automatized easily. Like governance wise, I don't see how there will be many changes to be done. So I don't know if you share this thought.
It's more of a fine tuning that we will then learn as we develop as we develop the platform, as we see how people interact with the platform and where they see the biggest benefits there. That's going to be more of a then fine tuning and optimizing the platform all the time, and be very excited also that our LCO2 tokens will not be the only carbon credits that we have. We already have partners that are interested to come to our platform with their carbon credits and the carbon credits that we will mint for them. So there will be a quite variety of different kind of options on that market, and we believe that therefore then our carbon DEX exchange will become an interesting place to trade later on, and not just like you offset your carbon footprint. That's of course always the most important thing to be sustainable, but we think that there will be this whole new sustainable finance speculative market where people buy and sell carbon credits as they see the market evolves.
Speculative but transparent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the change. Yeah.
Yeah, and now all the, by the way, then also important is that all the credits that we now have already been buying and we are ready to tokenize now, then all those are then verified by the world's leading Vera, is the verification company, and they are all Vera verified. So they are by no means any weaker or any more second grade. They are top grade carbon grades that are from the trusted sources and have been audited.
Ok, o sea que ahora estaba diciendo que también su DEX, que es muy interesante porque hemos hablado de sus créditos de carbono y tal, pero que dice que ya tienen partners que están metiéndose y realmente con la fuerza de ventas que van a tener, pues que también van a poder alimentarlo. ¿Y
qué función va a tener el DEX?
Ahora mismo, porque ha dicho ofrecer créditos de carbono de otras empresas y que todos van a estar verificados por LIKVIDI y por Vera, que es otro organismo de verificación. Ok, ¿tenemos alguna pregunta?
Esas son todas, al menos.
Si tenemos alguna pregunta, el momento es ahora.
¿Cómo los implementan el proyecto? ¿Cómo invierten en proyectos sostenibles para que la compensación sea real?
We're checking just if there are any other question from the audience.
Vamos a preguntar esta sí ya sea la última. ¿Cómo es el proceso en la que ellos invierten en proyectos sostenibles? O sea, ¿cómo tú haces eso? O sea, a ti te dan el dinero por un bono de carbono y tú qué cojones haces con ese dinero.
¿Cómo?
O sea, te compran el bono de carbono. Se supone que equivale a una cierta cantidad de dióxido de carbono en la atmósfera. ¿Tú qué haces con el dinero para que compense? ¿Comprar árboles?
No, compras el bono.
Claro, ¿y el bono? ¿Qué es el bono?
Pues lo estaba diciendo que tienen ellos de bosques en Ghana.
Bosques en Ghana.
Sí.
Y han dicho si los usuarios van a poder ver el desempeño ecológico de esas inversiones.
So there's this question on whether you will be able to actually see so behind the carbon credit there will be this forest in Ghana or something. So is there a plan for the client to actually see what they are investing in?
Yes, so as I said before, then there's the starting point here is that the starting point there is that we put this metadata or the details into blockchain, and then besides that, then the project managers at location, we get the coordinates for our satellite, basically surveillance system satellite measuring that we use. Basically, that's called remote sensoring is the correct word for that. So we get that data there and actual coordinates. Then we also get pictures. So they really do take photos there in the forest.
Okay.
And that then make it more real. And then there's also then Vera Sense on location auditors, people who then check on location that the land deeds and all these things are there, and then every few years they go and reevaluate basically the projects that they have done what they have promised to do. So this is not it's not a one time thing there. They are constantly improving the forest and updating the project managers here in Europe or in the USA and verifiers about the latest developments.
Ok, o sea que efectivamente
Pues,
sí que están haciendo esfuerzos para que se
Para que sí, para
vea
que la gente
con
lo vea.
fotos, auditorías y todo, o sea que no hay
Sí,
solamente un
exacto.
código, sino que también se puede ver.
y luego le podemos preguntar sobre su TGE, cuándo estiman lanzar el proyecto ya al
Ah,
mercado.
sí, es verdad.
Y ya está.
So we were wondering just the very last question about the TGE. So when do you plan to launch the project to the market?
Within few weeks that's taking place. So within few weeks happens, then we now working with DAO Maker to set up the exact date. So it will be on our Telegram as soon as and Twitter as well. But Telegram will be the primary channel there. So please follow us on Telegram at LIKVIDI official, and there we will announce it immediately when we have set it with the DAO Maker. Because we work now on a daily basis on the marketing and calls and all these things with the DAO Maker. So this is now then the next one on our agenda now that we have got quite far with all the development aspects.
Excellent. Okay.
And then a couple months after that comes then the platform and then the exchange follows that. So this year the platform will be fully functional with all the things that we have now in development pipeline, and also we have very interesting partnerships that will be then announced now. I would say every couple of weeks comes something new there. So really good time to follow us.
Ok. Una invitación abierta a seguirles en su Telegram porque de aquí a 2 semanas saldrían a mercado y van a estar anunciando nuevos partners continuamente, dice cada 2 semanas, y el exchange estará funcionando también durante este año, o sea que, bueno, nos invitation to follow on Telegram to catch the news.
Yeah. Yes, please, and hopefully we do another then AMA later this year when the platform is fully functional, and then we can maybe look more into the all aspects of the platform, and people will have a different kind of questions than when the market is a little bit more mature.
Definitely. Okay,
Cool.
So thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you. I think the community is very happy as well.
I think it's all.
We may receive more questions, but as we just said, Telegram is open with fresh news all the time. So
Absolutely, and please and you can ask all those questions on a Telegram. We have there few of us almost always online. So please ask those questions.
We stay in touch.
They were welcome.
Okay, so thank you very much again, Franzu. Have a good
lot.
day.
Yes, and
Thanks
see you
a lot.
guys later.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.